So we reached out to the sheriff's department. Both cases were then immediately reviewed, reopened, and sent out here to the crime lab to be tested for DNA for the first time ever. A soft-spoken, seemingly timid Jonathan Hearns spoke to jurors about his all-consuming love for Sabrina Limon, the guilt he had when her husband found out about their affair, and the thought process behind what they thought was the perfect murder. We're just getting word now that a woman and 2 children have been stabbed here at this home behind us on Donna Avenue. His attorney said that corruption within the Bakersfield Police Department spread much further than just Diaz and his partner. But we never heard how. We never heard examples of allegations until now. It is a horrifying story. The family was asleep inside this apartment when the killers kicked the door down. You can still see their footprint right there. Nearly 3 years ago, Todd Chance's body was found in this orchard. I mean, too much rain can be a farmer's nightmare. It can make it impossible to pick citrus, as you have convicted rapists and murderers with access to better health care than people free on the street. And the hospitals, well, they're making big bucks because of it. As soon as we arrived, we could see the body of a lifeless man laying in the road. It looks like the car started to try to slow down right about here at these white U's. That's where the skid marks start, and they don't stop until right there. Now that I've finished reading the entire 418-page police report in the Deborah and Gage Roberts case, it's clear child welfare officials knew they weren't model parents well before 2 of their babies died. For the first time in KGET's history, the suspect said yes, but the jail said no. It's essentially every woman's worst fear, waking up in the dark and finding a stranger in your bedroom. These investigations typically last. When can people expect to have some answers? It's a very upsetting scene out here. We just watched Rosa Garabay's young children be escorted outside by detectives. Yes, Tammy, they are very much still in shock. It is a chaotic scene. It's a dramatic scene out here. The entire area is flooded with law enforcement. Just when we thought we were done, an avalanche of new information is coming in every single day, including another person of interest. On the heels of Trump's controversial comments about women, all eyes today have been on how Ann Coulter would respond during her debate with James Carville. We've chosen to show you this part of our interview because Osuna may be responsible for other crimes that are unsolved. We believe Kathleen Heisey deserves justice. Her son Tim, her daughter Lisa deserve answers. We will continue to ask questions for the Heisey family. We will continue to follow the Bakersfield police investigation. We saw trees topple down coming into backyards, roadways. This storm is definitely leaving its mark. When we first got here about 20 minutes ago, there was a gust of wind that was so strong it nearly knocked me over. We're able to see the orange glow from the fire just over those mountains. And when it comes to Jonathan Hearns' strange behavior after the murder that could suggest he was responsible, well, she said she chose to put it out of her mind because she didn't want to believe it. Today, the prosecution was having none of that. So many searched for the teenage girl before her body was found. But today's message was about hope. Sheriff's deputies aren't talking, but neighbors say the 23-year-old woman lived in a shack with no plumbing and no electricity. And this weekend, that's where she died a horrible death. Areas where investigators say they found Jackie Murillo. Once you get to the 178 and Kern Canyon Road, they're either going to make you turn around or get off on Kern Canyon Road. That's where we are right now. Did Kathleen Heisey know her killer? Says he was driving down the road this way going eastbound when this van right here driving the opposite direction swerved into his lane. He says he tried to move out of the way as quickly as possible, but again, it all happened very fast. So many residents of this community have been waiting to come home, and this is what they're coming home to. I'm Olivia LaVoice. I'm Olivia LaVoice. I'm Olivia LaVoice. I'm Olivia LaVoice, 17 News. Jason, take a look at the devastation behind me. And it's not just here, it's the entire neighborhood. There are very few homes left standing in the South Lake area. And we spent the morning here with the Bryant family at their residence, a place where they've called home for so long, as their 5-year-old son looked for his baseball. And their 3-year-old daughter excitedly found these plastic pieces of food from her toy kitchen. And Christy Bryant, the children's mother, told me that her and her husband worked hard for 9 years, saved up for 9 years to buy this home. And now it's all gone.
I came from a poor family. You know, I didn't have much growing up. My whole life I had to work hard for everything that I had. So yeah, it's hard.
Christy and her husband say they worked hard so they could give their kids the things they didn't have when they were growing up. A playhouse, a trampoline, a blow-up pool, swing set, and lots of toys.
Yeah, we've had Thanksgivings and Christmases and birthdays, and it's a lot of memories, yeah. Heartbreaking, like losing a part of your family or something, you know. I tried to hold it together for these guys.
Although Christy says they lost precious family heirlooms and irreplaceable memories, they still have what matters most. They're focused on the future.
Gonna start over and rebuild and start anew.
17's Olivia LaVoice continues to look into these cases, and she's discovered these unsolved homicides have striking similarities. She joins us now from our newsroom with details of today's developments. Olivia?
Tammy, after reviewing the deadly shooting of a homeless man sleeping on the sidewalk Saturday night, we began to connect the dots. Our KGET homicide tracker on our website shows there have been other puzzling killings of transient men with no clear motives, killings that remain unsolved. February 1st, around 11 in the morning, a body was discovered on Baker Street, not far from the homeless shelter. The victim, still not identified by the coroner's office, was an elderly homeless man who appeared to be sleeping on some cardboard when someone came and shot him several times. He wasn't robbed. Nothing pointed to a clear motive. 7 days later, a 61-year-old man was pushing a shopping cart and picking cans out of a trash bin when he was shot 11 times at close range. Family says that victim is Lawrence Olivas, and although he wasn't homeless, family believes the killer or killers thought he was and sought him out because of it. They say someone in the area rushed to his aid shortly before he died, and he managed to tell them that his killer was a stranger. He wasn't robbed, and motive, once again, was a mystery. And just this weekend, a 52-year-old homeless man was asleep on William Street when he was shot at least 3 times. The few belongings he owned were all left untouched. He was a regular at the homeless shelter down the street. He collected recyclables, and staff says he never caused any trouble.
It's hard to understand how someone would execute someone like that. It's difficult to comprehend the choices that had to be made to walk up and take that person's life. But someone did. And there are a lot of people that don't have any other options.
Again, no clear motive. So we looked for people who knew the latest victim, other homeless people. They knew the area, knew the lifestyle. What we found was fear. We have a rule at Channel 17. Unless there's a very good reason, we don't interview people unless they show their face and tell us their name. But with the possibility of a repeat murderer on the loose, killing the homeless in East Bakersfield, we understood why no one we talked to wanted to be identified. So we made an exception to our rule.
The homeless community, we're upset about this. We're mad. We hope law enforcement really does something and don't sweep this under the table, because he has some pretty good friends out here. And there's a lot of guys that are mad and they're angry.
No one we spoke with could think of a reason why anyone would want the victim dead.
It's a random act. It's a random act of violence. It has to be. It's senseless. That's what we do know. It's senseless. For somebody taking another person's life, oh yeah, sleeping on the sidewalk, come on. What did he have left but his life?
Law enforcement hasn't confirmed any connection between the 3 killings, but the victims were all close in age, all appeared transient in nature, and were all shot to death within a few miles of each other in East Bakersfield. Tammy, today jurors met 2 key players in this case, a formerly married couple who were best friends with Robert and Sabrina Lamone. They're the pair who first told detectives about Sabrina and Jonathan Hearn's affair, and that tip led investigators right to their prime suspect. Needless to say, it was compelling to hear the testimony from Sabrina's former best friend as she called her a killer from across the room. And Sabrina's attorney did all but he could to break her down.
Is there some reason in particular that you really want to get Sabrina?
That she killed Rob.
Well, she didn't kill anyone, did she?
I believe she did.
Kelly Bernatine talked about how close she and her then-husband, Jason, were with Sabrina and Robert Lamone. The pair spent holidays together and went on vacations. Jason Bernatine, a firefighter, knew Jonathan Hearn well before he became Sabrina's lover. After Robert was killed, Jason and Kelly grew suspicious of Jonathan Hearn and eventually Sabrina.
Good afternoon.
It was tense the minute Richard Terry began cross-examination with Kelly Bernatine.
Ms. Bernatine, you and your husband are no longer married, is that right?
No, we're not.
And a couple weeks ago, you had a divorce party, right?
No, I did not.
Interesting.
I've never had a divorce party. But divorce is great.
Terry shifted to nude photos of Bernatine he says were on Robert Lamone's phone.
Did you ever send him photographs of yourself nude from the waist up?
No.
Is there any reason why he would have photos of you, nude photos of you, on his phone?
It's possible that they could have been sent by Jason or by Sabrina. I never sent him any photos of myself.
The questioning intensified.
You believe she actually went and shot Rob?
No, I believe she told Jonathan to shoot Rob.
So you're out to get her because of that belief, right? Aren't you?
Yes.
And you'd do anything to get her because you have that belief, wouldn't you?
Do anything?
Gotten up there on that stand, ma'am. You pointed a finger at your best friend and believe that she's a killer.
I do. It's a horrible thing.
The testimony concluded with,
I believe she should pay for his murder.
Because you believe she was involved.
Yes.
And that's because you cared about her husband so deeply, right?
I believe I cared about him more than she did.
Now, prosecutor Eric Smith discussed how Jason and Kelly's decision to tell detectives about Sabrina and Jonathan Hearn's affair had nothing to do with the fact that there was a $100,000 reward for information. The pair said they never got that reward money and they never tried to. We're going to be back in court tomorrow morning. For now, live in downtown, I'm Olivia LaVoice, 17 News.